I'm your commentator Will Robinson, alongside me the former Aston Villa man Paul Mortimer, and this is Premier League Live. For the first time in their long and storied history, Aston Villa have qualified for European football for the fourth campaign in a row. The question now is, will it be the Champions League? I'm your commentator Will Robinson. There is a sense of anticipation around Villa Park. These players will head down the tunnel with thoughts of turning to Wednesday's final. They could return next season as bona fide Villa legends. Unai Emery, already one of the club's great managers, can seal his place in the history books. Liverpool, meanwhile, searching for identity, dealing with a chasm between players and supporters that hasn't existed since the pre-Jurgen Klopp era. A chance tonight for Arne Slot to seal Champions League football and to steady the ship, if only before another vital summer. It is, Paul Mortimer, another big game between two sides at the right end of the table, but who feel like they're going in opposite directions.
It feels that way, but it's an opportunity to resurrect for Liverpool. I said, finish as strong as they can. That's all they've got. Finish as strong as they can. Villa, like you say, they've got a cup game, an important cup game as well. You know, European final, and some of their eyes might be on that, but this is a huge game, and if they can get the fourth place dealt with now, then they can relax a little bit more.
Well, Villa Park is in full voice, waiting for this one. 3 changes made by Unai Emery, with one eye on Istanbul. In come Buendia, Dean and Torres for Barkley, Maatsen and Mings. Both sets of players in their pre-match huddles. Who do you think will come out on the front foot here tonight?
Well, Villa are the home side, so you're kind of expecting from them. I fully expect Liverpool to really get after them, to really go and put Villa on the back foot, because now and again you get the odd Villa performance where they're not quite at it. I've seen Villa at home a couple of times where they've been flat and not quite at it, especially in and around Europe. So, you know, that's up to Liverpool to prompt a bad day from Villa. But Liverpool worry me because I think they have a soft centre, and you can get at them, and you can get at their back four.
Well, the last shades of summer sun drifting down on Villa Park. We are underway, and it's one of those bizarre kick-off routines where Dominic Szoboszlai has just thumped it straight into touch.
Well, I suppose that's about playing in the opponent. Well, I say playing in the opponent's half. It's almost like rugby, isn't it? A kick to touch. It's just about playing for the first 5 or 6 minutes as far away from their goal as possible.
Some of the greatest footballers on planet Earth, and it's thumped straight out of play.
Well, I don't know. It's bizarre for me. It's football, but not like we know it.
This is Aston Villa, full of optimism. The ball at the feet of Emi Martinez, and knocks it short as Villa try to play their way out from the back through Matty Cash. It's good pressure early on from Alexis McAllister, who charges down the attempted clearance. Villa have the throw level with the edge of their own penalty area on the right-hand side. It is a gorgeous day at Villa Park.
You know, it's really weird. One team, Liverpool, knock the ball forward to go and play in the opponent's half. The other team, Villa, are taking risks around their own goal. It's bizarre. I would play forward. Villa, I mean, you don't want to invite pressure this early in the game.
Liverpool on that disappointing run, the draw against Chelsea at Anfield, which caused such unrest after defeat against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and they've given it away here. It's Morgan Rogers driving forwards, has Ollie Watkins to his left-hand side, has to slow briefly, then cuts away. Watkins, first strike at goal, and it's held by Mamardashvili.
Really good, sharp play from Villa. Morgan Rogers wins the ball off Gravenberch. In fact, it was Tielemans, and he just drives. He's not quite sure where he's going, Morgan Rogers, but then as he cuts back inside, it opens up for him, and it's just a snapshot from Ollie Watkins. Turns beautifully, but doesn't quite catch it. You see, he just scuffs it a little bit, and it's an easy save for the goalkeeper.
He is finding his form at just the right time, Ollie Watkins, when you think about the fight to be the backup to Harry Kane for England at the World Cup.
I don't think it's a fight. I think he should be there. Think about what he did in the last tournament. He should be there. He should be there because he's a bona fide centre forward, and we need one.
12 goals in the Premier League this season, 17 in all competitions. He's not lost his goal-scoring touch, not a bit of it. It's knocked forwards again towards Watkins, who's battling away. Van Dijk manages to outmuscle him, but at the cost of a throw. Morgan Rogers will take it quickly. Here is Watkins racing towards the corner flag, stopped by Konate, back to Morgan Rogers. Rogers calmly in field to Victor Lindelof, starting in that defensive midfield position. Tielemans sweeps it across to Luca Dean, back in the side tonight, as is Pau Torres, who shields his eyes from the sun, and knocks it across to his defensive partner, Ezri Konsa. Now Torres can bring it into the Liverpool half. It is Villa dominating possession in the early exchanges. Swept towards Rodgers, it's behind him, it's ahead of John McGinn, and Alexis McAllister looks to bring it away. He's under pressure straight away. Here's Kirkes, out wide to Ngamoa. Ngamoa's first touch is heavy. Watkins steps in to win it back, and here's McGinn into the penalty area towards where Watkins might usually be waiting, and nobody was there at the far post to head it home.
Well, Ngamoa's got to recognise, forget the last game, you're not going to get time and space. and they kind of roughed him up. 3 of them got round him because they realised he wasn't going to pass it quickly, and he's just got to read situations a little bit better. He can't try and beat everyone all the time, but they've started sharp at Villa. They've really started sharp.
Just 17 years old, Ngamoa. He's got a vote of faith from Arne Slot to be starting once again this afternoon. Makes a run forwards here as Kirkes chests it down, then Ngamoa checks back, receives it on halfway. A neat first touch takes him away from Matty Cash, plays it short to Curtis Jones on the edge of the centre circle. Konate brings it forwards, his first touch was heavy, and Rodgers very nearly nipped in to steal back possession. Now Van Dijk, Alexis McAllister turns to look forward, sees options ahead of him in the form of Ngamoa, back to Kirkes once more, and here is Gravenberch. Now Konate, it is the first opportunity for Liverpool to get the ball down and begin to knock it about. Nice ball from Van Dijk into McAllister. His pass is careless. Szoboszlai though does his best to win it back, and now Gakpo in a central position, back to goal. Can't feed it past Buendia, and Villa have it in their own penalty area through Pau Torres. Now Emi Martinez made a major error in the reverse fixture back at Anfield, passed it straight to Mo Salah from the back, didn't he?
I remember that. He hasn't changed though. This is how they're going to do it. I think it's risky sometimes. I really do. I think you invite pressure, but this is what they believe in, so they're going to just get it done, and it's worked quite well.
Brave manager to try to change the mind of someone like Emi Martinez, who has such faith in his own ability. Villa have worked it well here, and it's in towards Watkins in the penalty area. It's just about scrambled clear as far as Alexis McAllister on the edge of his own box. Now Ngamoa turns away from Cash well, holds the ball up, away from one, then two,
skill.
hauled back by Buendia, and wins his side a free kick to ease the pressure.
That's lovely skill, and he's going to give Matty Cash problems, because you see Cash trying to rough him up, and Ngamoa's gone, no, I'm strong enough, and then he's tried to dive in, and Ngamoa's kept his composure. So that's going to be a battle, I think, that could cause Liverpool problems if Villa problems if Liverpool get the ball out there.
Well, widespread boos at Anfield when Ngamoa was withdrawn against Chelsea. Arne Slot later said it was kind of cramp, a bit of discomfort, but safe to say the fans made their feelings clear.
Yeah, they did. I truly believe that he had there has to be something wrong, because if there's one player you're not taking off there, it's the only person who looks like he could cause a problem.
Arne Slot is already on the edge of his technical area, pacing and barking out instructions as the ball finds the feet of Virgil van Dijk. Always looks so composed in possession. Picked out Kirkes, who exchanges passes with Ngamoa, and Kirkes can deliver here. Gakpo was arriving, doesn't quite reach him at the far post, and Villa can nod it away for a Liverpool throw.
Great ball, but I'm looking at Gakpo, and this is where you know he's not a centre forward. You know where the ball's coming. It's coming. You've got to break your neck to get there. You've got to get in front of that defender, because you can get in line with the defender. You know where Kirkes, from that, the ball goes out to Ngamoa. You know what's happening, so you should be getting ready. But you can see he doesn't have a centre forward instinct, so he's waiting instead of being on the front foot looking for that cross.
The kind of goal that Erling Haaland, or dare I say it, last season's Alexander Isak might have
Big
scored.
time, because they've already been ahead of their defender, knowing that the ball's coming in. But like I said, because he's not a centre forward who expects crosses coming, he doesn't do centre forward things.
Alexis McAllister has knocked it nicely through to Szoboszlai, turns and releases Curtis Jones on the right hand side near the corner flag, comes to the edge of the penalty area, dinks it back for Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai chips it towards the penalty spot, and it's just about scrambled clear by Lindelof. It's a bright moment for the visitors, and they have the ball back here inside the Villa half. McAllister looking for Gakpo in behind, and it's all the way through to Martinez to claim.
It's interesting. This is what Liverpool do. It's like they saturate areas, so they just control possession. But the thing is, as soon as they lose the ball, I don't know, especially in the midfield areas, if they've got the legs to get back. That's the problem. It's so easy to get into Liverpool's back four, especially Konate and Van Dijk at the moment, because the midfield don't seem to have the dynamism to get up and get back and catch up with someone like Morgan Rodgers.
Here comes Emi Buendia and he releases Ollie Watkins one-on-one with Van Dijk, edge of the penalty area. Watkins does fabulously well, creates the space to strike, and then it all goes wrong, high and wide over the top. And rather concerningly, Ollie Watkins is down and in some pain.
I think he's pulled a muscle there. Really great run, and poor defending from Van Dijk. Really poor defending, but I think he's just landed awkwardly, and it's like his hip. Something's happened around his hip, and he's in agony. And as we see it again, cuts inside beautifully. And then I'm not quite sure. I think it might be how he landed. Maybe I'm not quite sure the angle that he struck the ball, but he's in pain.
He's clutching his hip.
Yeah,
it was a very un-Ollie Watkins-like finish. Once he cut inside away from Van Dijk, you just expected him to test Mamardashvili, and this will be concerning not just for Unai Emery, who is biting his lip in some worry ahead of the Europa League final, but also for Thomas Tuchel ahead of the World Cup.
Yes, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, he looks like he's in pain as well. So, I mean, if it's a muscle injury, you're better whipping him off now and seeing if you can, you know, if you can treat it. And you're hoping it doesn't look like contact at all. It looks like, I mean, he almost slashed at the ball. Was he off balance? Maybe, I don't know. But the way he landed also didn't look great. So you kind of hope, if he's tweaked something, you hope it's not too bad.
9 minutes gone, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 0 on Premier League Live, and Ollie Watkins is still down receiving treatment. Scored just 3 times in his first 17 Premier League games, but he's hit form at the right time, 9 in 18 now. The England squad set to be announced next Friday. He is back to his feet, and you can hear Villa Park doing everything they can to show their support for Ollie Watkins, who is doing his best to try to flex and stretch and get the feeling back in his legs, but still yet to be seen whether he'll continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he screamed in pain. So it's like he's tweaked something. He's walking off okay, though, gingerly, but...
He's walked over to the touchline, and he'll continue to discuss with the Villa medical staff, who are in communication with the dugout. In the meantime, it looks as though we will get back underway with Villa temporarily down to 10. So Van Dijk has the ball and he can bring it into the Villa half. Here is Konate. Can Liverpool capitalise with the man advantage? Gakpo's made a run in behind, flag stays down, has Pau Torres for company on the edge of the 6-yard box. Across comes Tielemans, wins it back, and up goes the flag.
And again, see, when you haven't got, he's not a recognised centre forward, so his movement isn't that of a centre forward. He just turned and ran, and he was literally 5 yards offside before the ball struck. He's not aware of what's going on around him. But when you know, it's not his fault. He's not a centre forward.
Well, Mo Salah waits among the substitutes if he can make an impact. Ollie Watkins is back on the field and racing in behind, and Mamardashvili's come a long way, and his first touch is dreadful. Morgan Rogers in towards Watkins, nodded away to the far post where it's met by John McGinn. McGinn looking for support to arrive, turns and faces goal, edge of the penalty area, neat footwork away from Ngamoa. McGinn can deliver now towards the far post, nobody there to claim but Curtis Jones. Jones under pressure from Luca Dean, gives it to Gomez. Gomez then rash with the challenge, and it's a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. When Dia brought down, Aston Villa applying the pressure.
Well, this is the thing with Liverpool, they don't normally make mistakes. Mamardashvili first of all, and then Gomez, it's a poor tackle. It's a poor tackle, you know, not sure. Again, that ball in behind. Mamardashvili doesn't have to come. I think the ball's got enough pace on it, it's going to bounce into his arms. So you look at some of the decision making Liverpool are making under pressure, it's just allowing, you know, Villa to feel like we can get on top here, because the decision making they're making is the decisions they're making are not good ones.
Rumours about Alisson's long-term future at Anfield, whether this is his final season. Mamardashvili will want to be the one to step in to that #1 spot long-term, but he's played his side into a bit of bother here. It's a free kick on the left-hand side, right on the edge of the penalty area, level with the byline, plenty in claret and blue waiting in the box. It's pulled back short to Matty Cash. Cash urged to strike, does strike, deflects off Joe Gomez and away, rescued by McGinn, and it's all the way back to Emi Martinez just inside his own half, but his clearance is a poor one, and he's given it straight to Curtis Jones, who does well to retain possession. On halfway, dancing away from one challenge, then two. Referee plays the advantage, and Jones can continue to drive Liverpool forwards.
Yeah, I mean, Jones should play it earlier, I've got to say. Again, poor pass by by Martinez. But Jones missed the opportunity. He's taken too many touches. Could have played it early to Kirkes and they drive on. But again, it's that caution, I think, sometimes, where I think they should just go for it. But I mean, this game, I like this game. It's played at a really good tempo, really good pace, and both teams, when they get into good positions, are looking to attack.
Get the sense, don't you, of a Liverpool side who are just not, you know, as confident as they could be.
No
hesitation, and
I totally agree. There is a caution in them and a hesitancy. That's what caution does. It makes you just take a breath. Rather than just play it one touch, you take a touch now, and I've got to tee it up to be perfect, and the window of opportunity closes, and that's what you're finding with them.
Here is Yuri Tielemans, just inside his own half, twists and turns in search of an option, finds it in John McGinn, who takes it in his stride, always looking, John McGinn, to drive forwards, does so again here, out to Matty Cash, back to Lindelof, and then slotted through by Tielemans, looking for Ollie Watkins, and Virgil van Dijk is across to knock it out of play for a Villa throw.
Well, good play from Villa there, kept the ball really well, rotated really well, and really it's a poor pass from Tielemans out to Cash.
Cash takes the throw towards the near post where Morgan Rogers was waiting. It's nodded right back towards him, and he lets it go, and it will be another throw from the same position, right hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. This time it's taken short to Lindelof. Back to Matty Cash, and here is Ezri Konsa. Lindelof, now in a central position. Tielemans makes the space to strike, thinks better of it. Rogers, quick pass to Buendia. Buendia makes a mess of it, and Gomez can steal in to win it back for Liverpool. Curtis Jones is calm, then Van Dijk. McAllister plays himself into trouble. Villa have it back now, 30 yards out. McAllister, to his credit, gets back and atones for his error, wins it back for Liverpool, who now may look to counter through Ngamoa. Stopped by Cash, but only temporarily stalled. Then across comes McGinn to apply the pressure too. Ngamoa is fighting for the loose ball, doesn't give up on it, not once, twice, or three times, and eventually gets the decision.
I mean, any one of three fouls there, to be truthfully honest. You can see Matty Cash is trying to dive in, and he's got a nick on it a couple of times, but I tell you what, he's really taking a risk. There's a looseness about Liverpool for me, just a little bit, that allows Villa to find those gaps to exploit. They've got to tighten up, especially when they're defending Liverpool.
Liverpool's record away this season is not good. 5 defeats in their last 6 away games in all competitions. They've lost 6 of their 7 away games at sides in the top 9 so far this season. The only point came, ironically, away at the league leaders. A 0-0 draw at the Emirates back in January, as Mamadashvili clips it long towards Szoboszlai, waiting on halfway. It's chested down only as far as Buendia, manages to pick out Tielemans, and here is Victor Lindelof across to Matty Cash on the right hand side. Cash just inside his own half, has Ngamoa for company, and is forced backwards to pick out Ezri Konsa. Konsa back to his goalkeeper Emi Martinez, who was linked with a move to Liverpool earlier this week as a replacement for Alisson, although I can't see that one developing. Virgil van Dijk tries to nod a long ball down to Ibrahima Konate, but once again it's loose, and Villa pick up the loose ball. Here is McGinn, halfway inside the Liverpool half. Central position, turns to the right hand side where Cash is in a bit of space. Cash up against Milos Kerkez. Back to McGinn once more. Slowly, steadily, patiently, Villa probing, looking for a way through. Now Ezri Konsa, edge of the centre circle, finds Lindelof. First touch is a good one, opens his body up and picks out Matty Cash, who was seeing plenty of possession early on. Early ball towards Watkins on the edge of the box, met by Van Dijk, and Szoboszlai will drive forwards for Liverpool now, and he's away from 2 or 3, and in the end is crowded out, and Villa have it back once more.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to move it quicker, but Villa squeezed up the pitch, and he had no one else to hit. Yeah, there's a looseness about Liverpool that could be somewhat concerning. You know, Villa seem to be able to gain territory with the ball without much pressure or resistance from Liverpool. It's slightly easy. I mean, Martinez hit a 50-yard ball that caused real problems. It shouldn't. The ball's in the air that long. It shouldn't cause the defenders that much problems, that many problems.
Martinez tries it once again, this time along the ground, and it was met by Konate. Gravenberch looks to spin, clipped by Lindelof, and Liverpool have the free kick on the edge of the centre circle, just inside the Aston Villa half. Villa 0, Liverpool 0, 17 minutes gone.
You know, last season when they were winning everything, the influence of Gravenberch and McAllister was huge, and that hasn't happened. Too often games are passed them by. When they're not in possession and in possession, the game's passed them by.
Ball into Ngamoha in the penalty area. The flag stayed down, and Cash came across and nicked the possession at the vital time. Ngamoha almost one-on-one with Emi Martinez. Aston Villa are trying to play their way out, and how about that for composure? A Cruyff turn from Ezri Konsa.
He's a good player, Ezri Konsa. He's grown in stature. He's a very, very good, accomplished player now.
Pau Torres picks out Ollie Watkins, back to goal, knocks it back to Yuri Tielemans. He seems to be moving freely, does Ollie Watkins. In fact, he's set off once again to try to race in behind, but it's cut out by Konate. Here is Ngamoha, spots the run of Kerkez on the overlap, halfway inside the Aston Villa half, back to the halfway line where it's picked up by Gravenberch. Liverpool looking to just build some confidence in possession, begin to knock it about more crisply, cleanly, as Van Dijk puts his foot on the ball, exchanges passes with McAllister, and Villa back into their defensive shape and happy for Liverpool to have possession in these kinds of areas. Here is Joe Gomez starting the game today after his last 4 appearances on as a substitute. Villa have won it back through Buendia, goes down in search of a free kick. Referee shakes his head and Curtis Jones can collect for the visitors. Now Szoboszlai, who once again is popping up just about everywhere, up front, right wing, left wing, central midfield. He's hugging the right touchline at the moment. Gravenberch declines to use him, instead back as far as Ibrahima Konate. Ball in for Kerkez, pops it off for Gravenberch. Gravenberch spots Ngamoha out on the left-hand side, edge of the penalty area, able to take on Cash, cutting, twisting, this way and that, little step over, can't find a way through, and in the end, he's crowded out by Cash and McGinn and concedes the throw.
Yeah, he's got 2 defenders on him. So what he's got to be thinking now is, clearly there's a spare Liverpool player somewhere. I've got to find him. And he's just held onto the ball too long. And both of those Villa players could take a gamble because they knew he wasn't going to let the ball go. And that's why, it's a terrible throw.
A long throw from Matty Cash was looking for Pau Torres on the edge of the D. Dominic Szoboszlai very nearly stole in and won it back, and Torres hastily cleared.
Well, he's got to get on the weights, Matty Cash, because he just didn't throw it far enough or hard enough. It just left for Szoboszlai to get to.
In the season of the long throw, Matty Cash not among the nominees for the longest.
Exactly right, spot on.
Here is McAllister, 30 yards out. Now Gomez is urged to strike, does strike. And it had plenty of pace, but not the precision over the top of Martinez's crossbar.
Shame for him, his standing foot went, as he was just about to strike it, it looked like his standing foot went, and so that was always going high and wide, and still not scored a league goal. A couple of 100 games now, not scored.
What a way it would be to open the account there. Beat the World Cup winning goalkeeper from 35 yards. Villa are trying to play their way out from the back here once again. 20 minutes gone on Premier League Live. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 0. Ollie Watkins from the long ball battling away with Ibrahima Konate. He's rather shoved out of play. The Villa fans thought that should be a free kick. Referee says no. Good
defending, but good centre forward play. Because what Konate knows is he's in a game. He knows he's won it that time. He's not going to win it all the time. He's in a game, and it's a bustling, physical game he's in as well.
Liverpool have it back here through Gakpo. Collects a loose ball. And here is Szoboszlai inside the Villa half. He's clipped, brought down by Emi Buendia. Free kick in a decent position. Yeah,
Buendia doesn't get the ball first time round. He fouls it. And Szoboszlai's lucky because he's taken, again, as we said before, he's taken too many touches. So, and he's just clipped him, but again, he's looking for something perfect. So you take another touch, you take another touch, and you invite the tackle then.
So Liverpool about 30, 40 yards out. Szoboszlai standing over the ball. It's far too far out to try to test Martinez in goal, but it is a good position to try to whip it in. Bodies gathered on the edge of the D, preparing to make a run into the penalty area. Van Dijk is forward, Konate is forward. Szoboszlai in charge. Dominic Szoboszlai raises one arm into the sky and then whips it in towards the penalty spot, met by Pau Torres. Heads it clear only as far as Curtis Jones. Now Milos Kerkez. The bodies have stayed forward for Liverpool, and Szoboszlai has a chance to deliver once more. Instead, crossfield ball to pick out Jones on the left-hand side. Now Ngamoha, level with the edge of the penalty area, on the left, up against John McGinn, cuts inside, sweeps it across to McAllister. Here is Szoboszlai. We know he can score from this kind of distance. Instead, towards the far post, met by Van Dijk. It's a real scramble here. There are appeals for a penalty, and the referee shakes his head, and Villa can thump it away.
Yeah, it's good refereeing, and the players fall over in the box looking for fouls, but good play from Liverpool as well. I think Van Dijk comes up and heads it back across, but it just doesn't land anywhere near a Liverpool player. Often they'll take two deflections and a ricochet, land at Liverpool player's feet, and it's a tap-in. Just didn't happen that time.
And a slot, wishing for a little bit more luck, wishing for the ball just to bobble into the path of Gakpo, but it wasn't to be. Van Dijk making a major presence of himself, as he so often does, and it was an appeal in the edge of the 6-yard box. Gakpo challenging for the loose ball, down he went, and there is a question as to whether Konsa came through the back of his heel.
But if you look at Gakpo, he doesn't go towards the ball. He tries to move towards the tackle, if that makes sense. So he's waiting for the contact so he can go down. That's basically what he's done, and for me, I'd go as far as that's a booking for me, because you know exactly what he's doing, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Neil Davis is the VAR tonight, and rightly he has waved play on. John McGinn shows fabulous strength to hold onto the ball and to bring in a teammate, and Aston Villa have worked it through here to Morgan Rogers on the right-hand side in the Liverpool half. Manages to wriggle away from Engamoa, and then it's a fabulous switch of play.
Oh, he's overrated.
It's just overhit. Luca Dean can't quite get there.
I mean, I think there's a couple of things there, and this is slightly out of sync. Luca Dean should be running, but also the pass should be better. I mean, he's assuming, I think, that Luca Dean runs, but even then he's overhit it. Should stay on the grass.
Plenty of space had he managed to pick out Luca Dean on that left-hand side. Morgan Rogers is battling away to be the starting number 10 for England at the World Cup this summer, and he's certainly made a case for himself, but competition could hardly be fiercer. Berriese, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, and of course Jude Bellingham. Here comes Rio Engamoa. He's cut inside here on the edge of the penalty area, still going. Engamoa strikes, and it wasn't far away. Martinez watched it over the top of the crossbar, but it is another glimpse of what this talented youngster can produce.
I don't mind him doing that. I genuinely don't mind, because every time he gets the ball, you know he's going to look to produce something, and that's what you want. Every time he gets the ball, Matty Cash, in fact, is delighted he's gone that way. He's gone inside the pitch and not given him problems.
He scored twice this season, scored a wonderful curling finish against Fulham at Anfield. Rio Engamoa, his 28th game for Liverpool at just 17 years old this season. He's playing beyond his years as we hit the 25-minute mark, and still goalless at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 0. Long ball from Martinez all the way through. Watkins was grappling away with Kanate, appealing for a free kick. Referee says no, and it is in the hands of Mamadashvili.
I actually think that's a foul, because they're grappling, but then the ball goes over their head, and Kanate is blocking Watkins from turning and running. So I actually think that's a foul.
Mamadashvili has to get on with it here. He was given a back pass from Virgil van Dijk that he might not have appreciated inside his own 6-yard box, and under pressure he thumped it straight out of play.
Well, he's competent with the ball to his feet, but not really as comfortable. So, and that was a hard ball. It wasn't. It was in between his legs. It wasn't to his right foot or his left foot, and he needs it to be in a specific place. But because they were under a bit of pressure, the ball wasn't quite what it should have been.
There are balloons on the pitch at Villa Park. They're in a celebratory mood already before the final has even got underway. And they are locked goalless with Liverpool as Curtis Jones wins it back in the centre circle. Does really well to drive forwards and find Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai looks to split the Aston Villa defence and midfield. Instead, the ball is behind Engamoa, who retreats to collect, but Villa now back in numbers. Here is Alexis McAllister in a more central position. Back to Virgil van Dijk. That's a wonderful ball through to pick out Gravenberch. Quick feet too. Picks out Engamoa now into the penalty area. Engamoa, one step over, 2, 3. Forced backwards by Cash. Still has the ball, Engamoa. Now tees up Gravenberch. Straight at Martinez, but Martinez spills it to Gakpo, who tucks it away. The flag is up, and it saves the blushes of the Aston Villa goalkeeper.
Well, he's lucky. He's got lucky there, Martinez, because it's one of those that's bounced just in front of him, and he hasn't dealt with it, hasn't absorbed it as well. But unfortunately, Gakpo is already offside, already in an offside position, and he's miles off. And you know the thing about it, it doesn't have to be, because the ball pops out away from Martinez, he can't get it, so he doesn't have to be offside. He'd be first to the ball anyway, but you know, in hindsight, it's easy for me to say that.
Well, Emi Martinez will be the first to thank him, because it was a bad mistake from the Villa goalkeeper. The kind of position that Gravenberch scored from against Chelsea last time out stung the palms of Emi Martinez this time, and it was spilled at the feet of Cody Gakpo, but as you say, a yard or two at least offside. Easy decision for the linesman. And so Villa have us back underway. The ball at the feet of Martinez, this time short to Yuri Tielemans, knows exactly who was around him. Villa looking to play their way out, knocked back by Lindelof to Martinez once more. Has space on the edge of his own 6-yard box to assess the options ahead of him. Well, the sun is beginning to fade. Does have it right in his eyes, Emi Martinez. Maybe we can give him a tiny little bit of leeway.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because it's kind of coming from left to right as he looks, and it's difficult because it's in your eyes, then it's not, and so that can be quite difficult to manage.
There is Luca Dean, and now Buendia halfway inside the Liverpool half. Heavy first touch takes it away from him, and Konate can bring it forwards now. It's a rampaging run from Konate, reaches right to halfway before being forced to retreat, finds Kirkez. Ollie Watkins is back defending from centre forward, and Kirkez is forced to check back. It's what Ollie Watkins can do off the ball as well as on it that makes him such an asset to Unai Emery. Here is Virgil van Dijk. It is a test for Villa to break down this Liverpool defence. They have been porous this season, but Villa's goals have rather dried up. Scored 32 in their previous, well, it's 17 in their last 16 games, 32 in the 15 before that. So it's going about half as many as they were at the start of the season. Liverpool have the ball back once more. Finally poised this one with 29 minutes gone. Well, Curtis Jones on the edge of the centre circle finds McAllister. Once again, the first touch is just a little loose. Allowed Watkins in, but McAllister manages to retain possession. Picks out Gravenberch right under the nose of Arne Slot on the right-hand side. Spread across to Virgil van Dijk. Now Engamoa, plenty of pace on the pass. Engamoa driving forwards here and driving away from Matty Cash. Cash does well to get back at him, but Engamoa slips inside this time. Back as far as Jones, dinked him behind to where Gravenberch was making the run, and it's too far for Gravenberch to chase and out for a goal kick. Yeah,
it's too easy to give the ball away there. You've got to be just a bit more patient. He's tried that before, Jones, over here. This time's under here. Maybe you'll get it right the next time, but keep it, go out to the right-hand side and cut and come again, you know, rather than trying or overplaying or trying to force it.
I have to say, every time Engamoa gets the ball, he looks dangerous. Causing all sorts of problems, but Cash is sticking to his job manfully. Aston Villa have tried to play their way out from the back. They've played it instead straight out of play. And Liverpool have a throw.
I'll never work that out. Well, I'll never work out how, you know, you give the ball away in and around your penalty area, and didn't need to. Now there's a long throw coming into your box. You had the ball, you had the power, and you give it away that cheaply. I don't mind you giving it away 50 yards up the pitch, but not where they can throw it into your box. Yeah,
not now that a throw-in is effectively like a corner with Van Dijk forward, Konate forward. In it comes, nodded only half clear, away as far as Szoboszlai. Out to the right-hand side where Jones is waiting. Here's Szoboszlai, 30, 40 yards from goal. Szoboszlai, let's fly!
Oh,
goodness me, what a strike.
What a strike.
Emi Martinez at full stretch pushes it away. Szoboszlai generated such power from distance, and Martinez has to concede the corner.
He's not the one you want to allow to shoot. The minute he gets it, and he's got an alleyway where there's no Villa player in forming any sort of resistance, and you know, it's a good save. It's a savable save. He should be getting to that and saving that, but you know, you don't want to let that happen again. 13 goals this season, Dominik Szoboszlai, 7 of them from outside the penalty area. It is a real specialist from distance. Liverpool take the corner short to McAllister. McAllister knocks it all the way back to Szoboszlai, dinks it towards the far post where Van Dijk was in plenty of space, but Morgan Rogers got back and got a touch in the nick of time, and it's behind for another corner, this time from the left from a Liverpool point of view. Again, they're defending well enough, Villa. It's quite comfortable in spells. 32 minutes gone, still 0-0. Dominik Szoboszlai has come across, and he will take this one from the left-hand side, in swinging. There is all sorts of pushing, shoving, grappling going on in the 6-yard box. Van Dijk, Konate, Gakpo, McAllister are involved, Tielemans, Lindelof and Dean for Aston Villa. Emi Martinez is asserting himself too. He's never one to shy away from any of this kind of conflict, and the referee will have to keep a beady eye on proceedings as Szoboszlai prepares to whip it in.
Still, Dean and Konate have full hold of each other's shirts. Szoboszlai does deliver, and met at the near post by McAllister, who guides it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, I think penalty box behaviour is something, especially when we saw at Arsenal last week, penalty box behaviour is something that needs to be looked at. Because all of this grappling, as far as I'm concerned, I would just be saying, if I see it, I'm going to give either a free kick or a penalty. And it should, and for me...
It would soon stop, wouldn't it?
For me, it should be a straight yellow card. So if I have to send you off for doing that twice, so be it. Because you have to be accountable for how you behave. And in the penalty area, I mean, it's horrible. It's not nice to watch this grappling that goes on. Because defenders now don't defend. The art of defending's gone. We just grapple each other, and that's all we do. And no, don't like that.
Szoboszlai has won it back here and releases McAllister. His ball forwards is intercepted by Tielemans and out for another Liverpool throw, and we may see that grappling all over again, because Konate and Van Dijk will make their way forwards.
Well, the Joe Gomez will come over and probably take the long throw, and so you should. So you should. It's a possibility to get a shot on target, isn't it? And put the opponents under real pressure. So yeah, I'd do that.
It was a bit like the Royal Rumble in the 6-yard box for the previous corner. We'll keep an eye on things here.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble, brings back memories. Used to watch that with my boy when he was younger. But it's literally, it's like wrestling now, and it's horrible to watch. This is not football.
Well, Joe Gomez has come across to the left and he hurls it goalwards, flicked on by Van Dijk. It's loose and it's prodded away by Luca Dean, all the way back to Mamadashvili, in fact, from Milos Kerkez, and it means Aston Villa can push out now. Long ball forwards from Mamadashvili. Van Dijk has stayed forward as a sort of makeshift centre forward, tries to knot it down to Cody Gakpo. Good strength to get away from Tielemans, and then here's a free kick challenged by Emi Buendia, about 30-40 yards out, and Liverpool can whip it into the box once more. Yeah,
he does well. I think he's hurt himself in that challenge, Yuri Tielemans, with that little interchange with Cody Gakpo. I think he'd hurt himself, went straight down after.
Being helped to his feet here by Gakpo, wincing, but looks okay to continue.
Yeah, I think he might have just been, let's say that the crown jewels might have taken a whack, so he's just winded slightly, let's say.
He is, delicately put, and he's putting a brave face on it as he gets back to defend.
No doubt. Well, you don't want the cold water there, so to speak.
Szoboszlai in charge of this free kick. About 10 minutes until the break. Still Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 0. Szoboszlai whips it into the far post. Van Dijk waiting. Rodgers gets there first. It drops for John McGinn. Controls it accidentally on his shoulder. It was a fabulous first touch. Not sure he intended it, but Villa have given it straight back to Liverpool, and there are groans of frustration around Villa Park, because for the last 5 or 10 minutes the visitors have gained some momentum. Now Szoboszlai, he's looking for a bit of movement ahead of him, doesn't find it. Back to Ibrahima Konate on halfway. McAllister, Szoboszlai once more, forced back by the pressure of Emi Buendia, but they've worked it well, Liverpool, and there's space here now for Curtis Jones. Jones skips inside, knocks it back for Joe Gomez. Villa fans doing all they can to try to out-sing a raucous away end, but it is the Liverpool fans you can hear at the moment as they feel their sides are on top towards half-time. Clipped to the left where Engamoa waits, collects it, takes the ball in his stride. 2 step overs, tries to get away, knocks it into the penalty area, headed out as far as Gravenberch on the edge of the box. Here's Gomez. And Gomez picks out a wonderful pass, breaks the lines, finds Gravenberch in towards Gakpo, met by McGinn at the far post, turned behind. It will be a Liverpool corner. Yeah,
and that's where Engamoa's got to be lively, because as he's gone down the wing now, I think it's Curtis Jones, he's got to be covering the back end of the goal, because if he does, Matty Cash has got his back to, he can't see him, it's a free header, and it's a chance of a goal, but he's on his heels waiting for the ball to come rather than going and going and heading it.
Szoboszlai in charge once more. Konate and Luca Dean are battling away once again at the far post. The referee is telling them to calm things down. Szoboszlai raises his hand into the air, in towards the far post this time. Out comes Emi Martinez, gets a punch to the ball. It's knocked back by Curtis Jones to Gravenberch, and here is Jones on the right-hand side, and Jones will deliver back into the box and deliver towards Joe Gomez. Can't get a touch. Engamoa can't rescue it, and it's a Villa goal kick.
Yeah, they've dealt with it quite comfortably. Martinez does really well to punch it, because there's a crowd scene in the penalty area at the moment, and I think the ref may have to go and deal with that, because that's going to get worse as the game carries on. But they've dealt with Liverpool's long throws quite well so far, Aston Villa. And also, when the ball's bounced in the penalty area, it's bounced to Villa players and not anywhere near a Liverpool player for some odd reason.
There has been a differing approach so far. Villa have been playing it out from the back and have been trying to pick their way through the Liverpool back four. Liverpool have been the opposite, long balls forward, and they've been trying to use that long throw, the corner kick, set pieces to find an opening goal. Here is Emi Buendia on halfway, finds Tielemans. Now John McGinn is able to turn, wriggle away from pressure. McGinn sweeps it out wide, but straight to Milos Kerkez, who is then brought down by Matty Cash, and it will be a yellow card here for Cash for the foul on Kerkez. He was trying to block the attempted clearance, but he just came in a little late, didn't he, and made contact.
Well, you know, if he sticks his foot out there, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Well, you don't know whether he catches him. I don't know, but yeah, he does. He does catch him, and you know, if he doesn't get the ball there, he's getting the foot, and if he's getting the foot, it's going to be the bottom of his studs catching Kerkez on his instep. That's painful, number one, and a booking, number two, definitely.
Milos Kerkez will have even more pressure to make that left-back spot his own next season, because Andy Robertson is departing Anfield after such a stellar career. And Kerkez just struggled a little bit to settle in his first season playing in red.
Well, I think the problem that you have is you step into that side and you think you're going to be protected by the quality around you, and he's been exposed too often, like Robertson never was, you know, because like I say, in front of them the midfield protection hasn't been there as it has been before.
Here is Martinez, has the ball in his own 6-yard box, sweeps it out to Pau Torres, clipped into midfield, where Buendia tried to collect it with his back to goal, but he was out-muscled by Curtis Jones. Liverpool knocking it about with more tempo now, and here is Jones on the right-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area, knocks it back to Gomez, has the space to take a touch and to whip it into McAllister, who gets it all wrong. It just bounces off his thigh, and suddenly Villa can counter, and it's Morgan Rogers, has Ollie Watkins ahead of him. Rogers plays it out to the left-hand side where Watkins waits, up against Konate. Watkins, step over, inside he comes, forced backwards now, his progress slowed, and Liverpool are back in numbers. Out to Victor Lindelof, edge of the penalty area. Now Ezri Konsa. Here is Matty Cash. Still Villa have bodies forwards, but Liverpool have everybody back. McGinn on the right-hand side. Into Victor Lindelof once more. Exchanges passes with Morgan Rogers. Rogers has it on the right, finds McGinn up against Milos Kerkez. Rogers continues his run. He's away from Ngamoa, in towards the near post. It bounces all the way through, flashed across the face of goal, and Joe Gomez is there to sweep it out for a Villa throw.
Yeah, it's good play from Villa. They keep the ball and they keep moving it. Good run from Rogers. The only disappointment for them is there's only two players in the box. Buendia goes across the far post, and Watkins, weirdly enough, is on his heels rather than making the, you know, just running towards the goal. He gets a tap in.
He's been virtually absent, Ollie Watkins, since he went down early on with that issue. Whether or not that's had an impact, we don't know, but struggling to get involved in the game since then.
Well, they've not really played to his strengths. Normally they hit early balls into the channels for him to run onto. Happened once or twice, but not as much as you would like.
So Luca Dean preparing from this throw. It's a fine ball too to pick out Buendia, and Liverpool were caught cold there. Racing back was Gravenberch to get a foot in and to knock it behind for a corner.
It's a strange one, that, because the ball been out for a little while, so they've had a little bit of time to set themselves, and Gravenberch has just been watching. He's made his way back and nicked it, but he's almost switched off ball watching and allowed Buendia to creep behind him.
Set piece opportunity for Villa. Liverpool have conceded 18 goals from set pieces this season. Only Bournemouth have conceded more in the Premier League, and there are plenty forwards, but it's taken short a long way back to John McGinn. Then he works it to Luca Dean. It's whipped in here for Morgan Rogers. Rogers strikes! Oh, what a glorious opening goal for Aston Villa. A clever corner kick routine. Liverpool caught cold. Morgan Rogers is deadly from that kind of position. Right-footed, curling, beat Mamadashvili, and it is Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 0 just before half-time.
Well, I was saying to you a little bit earlier about a looseness around Liverpool. Well, to be honest, you'd have scored from there. The amount of time and space in the penalty area that Morgan Rogers had. It's what I've been saying about Liverpool. There's been no real tightness of their play. The ball goes back to McGinn. He plays it wide to Luca Digne, and no one. He just stood still, Morgan Rogers. None of the Liverpool players came out to him, so he's got time to turn and just pass it into the back of the net. Look at where he wants to put it, passing. There's no Liverpool player, even now as we're watching it, no one's got close enough to block him, and because they're all on their heels, they're all watching the ball, and like I said, if you turned sharply, you'd have passed that into the net, and that's not, no, I don't mean that disrespectfully. He had so much time and space, he could pick his, in the penalty area as well. Arne Slot will be fuming at that.
Virgil van Dijk turned apoplectic at his teammates that was allowed to happen, and interestingly Morgan Rogers raced across to the dugout to celebrate, not with Unai Emery but with Aston Villa's set piece coach. So clearly a routine that they've worked on, and it's come good. And listen to the noise around Villa Park now as Villa bring it forwards once more through Emi Buendia. Space out to the left-hand side for Watkins, has Luca Digne on the overlap. Now Digne will look to deliver, crosses deflected into the gloves of Mamardashvili, and Liverpool can breathe, but only just. Yeah, they need to take a breath, Liverpool. As I said, there's something not quite right with them. There's something not quite right. We see the goal again, and it's a great finish. Keeper may be unsighted or should do better. I'm not quite sure. It kind of dives under it looks like, but yeah, there's a looseness to Liverpool's play. Defale, here we go, Mamardashvili again. They're just making mistakes they wouldn't ordinarily make. They're making too many mistakes, Liverpool. Mamardashvili playing it loose to Virgil van Dijk, who was forced backwards. He had to clear, and it's out for a Liverpool throw, but still inside their own half. It is Morgan Rogers' 13th goal of the season, and although Jude Bellingham is likely the name on everyone's lips as England's first choice number 10, Morgan Rogers is not about to give up that position easily.
Jude Bellingham is in there on reputation at the moment. He's not in there on performances, and this young man is in there on performances, and I think reputation's great, but not great if you're not producing the performances that gave you that reputation, and Morgan Rogers has been. Bellingham's had a few injuries and stuff, and Real Madrid are not great. They're not a great team. They're a team of individuals. So I'd have to take Morgan Rogers. I think he would be a really good addition to the squad.
It's a fine problem for Thomas Tuchel to have, as Villa think they've won it back on the edge of the Liverpool penalty area, but a clip on Curtis Jones means that Liverpool have the free kick to ease the pressure once again. It's just taken short and carelessly by Konate, and Gravenberch is under pressure in his own penalty area. Then across the face of their own goal to Van Dijk. Just looks nervy, doesn't it, as Kirkes clears.
It just doesn't look full of confidence, does it?
Engamoa, who has been the sole bright spark for Liverpool, dances away, and his pass is just rescued by Curtis Jones as we tick into 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Villa leading by that Morgan Rogers goal to 0. And it's a clumsy challenge from Szoboszlai, who was getting back to make up for the lack of running from his teammates, and he's absolutely furious to have given away that free kick.
Yeah, but he's more furious at the fact that his teammates have, I mean, he's played for it really, Tielemans, because he stuck his leg in front of Szoboszlai, but he's more angry at Curtis Jones, giving the ball away and falling over and expecting a foul, and it's not a foul really. And there's that looseness to Liverpool that I would be worried about.
So Villa will be happy to play towards the break now. Villa Park in full voice. It was as Liverpool were having perhaps their best spell of the game. They were just beginning to crank up the pressure, and then conceded that corner kick from a lack of concentration from the throw, then a lack of concentration to concede from the corner itself. Szoboszlai has been penalised once more. The Aston Villa fans are begging for a yellow card. Szoboszlai will escape with just a warning. He's
not silly, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's a foul, and Tielemans is looking for the foul, he's looking for the contact, and Szoboszlai, through impatience and frustration more than anything else, obliges, gives him the nudge, over he goes.
He's played just about every position this season, Szoboszlai. Centre mid, number 10, right back, right wing, centre forward.
Yeah.
And he's covering for teammates who haven't showed up.
You see, it's great you've got a player like that, but you miss him in midfield when he's playing elsewhere. He's hugely influential for Liverpool in midfield, yet he's not playing there.
Villa take the resulting free kick short. Rui Tielemans down once again. Curtis Jones across to win the ball back, concedes the throw. Curtis Jones then boots the ball straight into the crowd, which Yuri Tielemans isn't happy about. Curtis Jones, to be fair, raises an arm in apology to those supporters, and we are ready to get back underway without any further involvement from the referee.
And that's the frustration, because if that hits someone in the face, you know, this close, that's not good.
Long throw this time towards Watkins, who rises and meets it, nods it back for John McGinn. Across it comes to Matty Cash, 30 or so yards out. He's forced to check back, just didn't have options ahead of him, all the way back in fact to Ezri Konsa inside his own half. And now Emi Martinez on the edge of the D, pressed by Szoboszlai, who will not stop running. But Pau Torres can clip it in behind for Ollie Watkins to chase, and the flag has gone up here before Ollie Watkins has the chance to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's a mile off. Careful, he could get booked for that.
Watkins continued, rounded Mamadashvili and scored, and Ollie Watkins may have just got himself the cheapest yellow card. In fact, he has. Watkins in the book.
Not sure why you need to do that. It's just offside, and he shouldn't be offside. He's got so much space to play with, but he knows it's a foul. He knows, and he doesn't need to do all of that. But there you go.
Well, there goes the whistle for half-time. It is a febrile atmosphere at Villa Park, but the home fans are happy because they have the lead. Aston Villa ahead, courtesy of a Morgan Rogers goal from a fabulous corner kick routine. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 0 at half-time at Villa Park. And you're listening to it all on Premier League Live.
midfield before me, I'm not happy. I take that personally. I really do.
Douglas Luiz is on the bench and has been overlooked even for that change.
That's a slap in the face for me if I'm a midfielder, when someone who isn't one of my competitors for the midfield area plays in front of me.
So it is Villa 1, Liverpool 0 as we get back underway. Villa trying to knock the ball forwards through Morgan Rogers. I'll give you the full lineups in just a second when we have a break in play, but Villa lead courtesy of Morgan Rogers' wonderful curling finish, his 13th goal of the campaign. It was a clever corner kick routine put together by Unai Emery and by his set-piece coach, who was a big part of Rogers' celebrations after the ball hit the back of the net. Clever routine between McGinn and Luca Dean to release Rogers in plenty of space, but Liverpool will not be happy whatsoever with the marking that led up to that opener. So with the ball at the feet of Emi Martinez, who thumps it forwards for Ollie Watkins to chase. He's manhandled by Virgil van Dijk, fairly, says the referee. Stepping across is Matty Cash to win it back, and here's a first real touch for Ross Barkley. Does well, skips away from Gravenberch and spreads it out to the left-hand side where Luca Dean is waiting. Luca Dean knocks it back to Pau Torres. So Aston Villa lining up like this. Emi Martinez in goal. Back four of Luca Dean, Pau Torres, Ezri Konsa and Matty Cash. In midfield now it's Ross Barkley and Yuri Tielemans, Morgan Rogers, Emi Buendia and John McGinn behind Ollie Watkins. Here is Barkley as Villa bring it forward. I'll bring the Liverpool lineup in just a second. Matty Cash knocks it to Rogers, who has space to turn inside the Liverpool half and tries to slot it through for Ollie Watkins. Across stepped Virgil van Dijk, vital interception, and he lumps it forwards, which Konsa can deal with calmly. Skips away from Cody Gakpo. That kind of ball is not going to cause Ezri Konsa any sort of problem, but this ball through might do. Luca Dean chasing, but Mamadashvili too close to it.
Well, there's a couple of things. Luca Dean has got to be wider. If he runs wider, then he can overhit it a little bit, but it's a poor pass from someone with that quality, that Tielemans has time and space to play that. He's vastly overhit that, and that's a chance. Liverpool hold a terrible line. It was just, the player on the ball's got time. You've got to drop off, but they stayed up, and that just opened it up for a pass wide.
He shook his head. He was lambasting himself, Yuri Tielemans.
He knows. He's a passer, so he knows.
Mamadashvili thumps it long, looking for Rio Engamoha. Virgil van Dijk chests it down. Here is Szoboszlai, back to goal, pops it off for Curtis Jones. Back to Szoboszlai now, who can get his head down and drive forwards. He's so dangerous, ball at his feet, delivers early, but it's held by Emi Martinez, too close to the Aston Villa goalkeeper.
And that's Liverpool to a T. Great play to get there, and then uncharacteristically poor cross from Szoboszlai, who is very good on the ball. That's where they've been a little bit today, Liverpool, bit hit and miss. More miss than hit, by the way.
Dean knocks it forwards to Ollie Watkins, spins away from Gomez far too easily. Well done from Ollie Watkins though, and he finds John McGinn. Now out to Morgan Rogers on the right-hand side. Couple of step-overs, tries to pick out Tielemans. Stepping in was Gravenberch, and there may be an opportunity on the counter here for Liverpool, but it's an opportunity they decline to take. Szoboszlai backwards to McAllister. He's found a bit of space for Gomez in the Aston Villa half. Now McAllister, edge of the centre circle, back to Curtis Jones. Gomez has continued his run, has it on the right-hand side now. He's pressured all the way by Luca Dean, and Curtis Jones sweeps it across to Virgil van Dijk. Out to the left-hand side where Engamoa is waiting, taking on Matty Cash as he has done all evening. Engamoa with pace away from Matty Cash to the byline, pulls it back towards Curtis Jones. Jones strikes, blocked away. Now it falls for Gomez, and it's headed clear. Villa thought the ball had gone out of play for a goal kick. Referee waves play on, and still Liverpool have it.
Well, the flag hasn't gone up. I was expecting the flag to go up. It didn't go up. That's a good chance for Liverpool, I have to say. But then you've got, Joe Gomez hasn't scored. And you can see why, if the truth be told. But get the ball out to Engamoa. Just get it out to him and say to him, just take them on.
312th senior appearance, Joe Gomez, still looking for that first goal.
So, he's not a goal scorer. But even then, you'd expect him to get the odd chance.
It's tucked into the channel here for Gakpo to chase. All he can do is get there to prevent the goal kick. He knocks it out for a Villa throw. So the Liverpool lineup is as follows. Mamadashvili still in goal. Alisson back in training, but not fit enough to start once again this evening. In fact, he's not involved in the matchday squad. Back four of Joe Gomez, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Milos Kerkez. In the midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister and Curtis Jones. And further forward, Engamoa, Szoboszlai and Cody Gakpo. Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, both on the bench for Liverpool. Here is McAllister into the feet of Gravenberch, tried to release Szoboszlai first time, met by Luca Dean. His intended clearance is blocked by Gomez. Gomez knocks it out of play, and Villa have the throw on the left-hand side, right by their own corner flag.
Well, you find they're going to have to bring one of those two on at some point, because they're not creating enough, Liverpool, at the moment. Szoboszlai they're looking at, and Gamoa, but they're not really causing... I mean, Martinez hasn't had much to do.
I have to say, from Engamoa, the likeliest source so far of inspiration, and once again he was taking on Matty Cash and getting past him. Gravenberch is brought down by Buendia, and Buendia is furious. Thought he'd taken the ball. He waves his arms in the direction of the referee, Chris Kavanagh, but Kavanagh says there was a tug of the shirt. Free kick, Liverpool 30 yards out.
More than one foul there. Barkley's holding his shirt. He's fouled him once, and then he fouls him again. There's about three fouls there.
Correct decision from the referee, and he will mark the spot with his spray that the wall has to stand as Szoboszlai prepares to whip this one into the penalty area once more. Plenty forwards for Liverpool. Claret and blue shirts back in number, standing on the edge of the D as Szoboszlai sets off to run up and strike on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Szoboszlai towards the far post. Van Dijk!
He's got to be offside.
It's in the back of the net. The flag stays down. It is a typical Virgil van Dijk goal. A thundering header at the far post beats Emi Martinez, and Liverpool think they've equalised, but there is some controversy here. The referee, Chris Kavanagh, has stopped the game. Initially, the flag stayed down, but it will be checked.
Well, often when the cross comes in from a free kick and a player has that much time and space, he's either fouled the defender. No, it's not. He's got to be offside. Matty Cash hasn't done enough. If you look at Matty Cash here, he's not done enough. He's not done enough, and that's not a foul. That's not a foul at all. And he should not have that much time and space. I'm thinking he's got to. We haven't seen the lines. He's got to be offside.
Well, he looks on at the first replay we've seen here.
Oh, he looks onside to me.
Matty Cash was down, but as you say, there was absolutely nothing in the challenge.
No.
So whether they're checking it for offside or for the foul, or indeed for both, Neil Davis is the VAR, Paul Howard his assistant, Chris Kavanagh is waiting for communication from the video officials. As it stands, Liverpool are on level terms, but they are checking here a possible offside.
Yeah, I don't think he's offside. Yeah, it's given.
The goal is given. Virgil van Dijk celebrates, punches his fist in the direction of those travelling Liverpool fans. It has taken just 8 minutes after the restart for Liverpool to get back on level terms, and it is the captain popping up once more. Szoboszlai's delivery, Van Dijk's header, and just like the Villa goal in the first half, it was all just a bit too easy.
Well, if I'm Emery, I'm fuming, because they haven't earned that, Liverpool. They've not earned that at all. It's poor defending from Matty Cash, and for me it's the modern day defender. Rather than defend properly, he's looking for a foul there. He's looking for a foul, contact, and that's the modern day defender. Apparently we just don't defend anymore, we look for fouls, and that's poor. I think that's so poor.
He went down under virtually no contact at all, Matty Cash.
Not enough contact for that to be a foul, absolutely not.
So Villa have to go and win this one all over again. Liverpool back on level terms. Remember, whoever comes out on top in this one will secure Champions League qualification for next season. Liverpool take on Brentford at Anfield next weekend. Brentford will be fighting for European football of their own for the first time in their history, and so they will be right up for that one. Villa won't want to require points when they head to the Etihad as Pep Guardiola's side look to chase down Arsenal. So both sides will want it wrapped up tonight. Here comes Alexis McAllister driving forwards. Ezri Konsa is back to mop up. Konsa has it near his own corner flag. Once again, Villa will intricately try to pick their way out, but Morgan Rogers has slipped at the vital time, and stepping across was Milos Kerkez, beaten to the ball by McGinn, and McGinn
offside.
can release Ollie Watkins, but as you say, he is not just offside, he is some way offside.
Careful.
The flag is up.
I hope he's earned it.
Watkins scores, and he will be denied by the flag once more. As you say, was booked in the first half for finishing a chance after the flag had gone up.
Yeah, and it's poor from Watkins because he doesn't have to. There's no Liverpool defender anywhere near him, and he's running to the opponent's half. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that. And for someone who makes good runs, it's just that impatience.
Liverpool's high line was so high.
Well,
both centre-backs inside the Villa half. Watkins could have been 2-3 yards on.
Big time.
Here comes Engamoa at the other end, cutting inside, wants to strike. Engamoa does strike, hits the woodwork, and then the rebound fired over the top by Cody Gakpo. Once again, wonderful from this prodigiously talented teenager, Rio Engamoa, causing Emi Martinez all sorts of bother, denied by the post.
Well, you have to believe, if they are going to score, it's a great strike. Curls it beautifully, I have to say. Beautifully. Curls it. What a good strike that is. Nowhere near it. Difficult for Gakpo. But if they are going to be successful in this game, Engamoa is going to have something to do with it, without a doubt.
Comes off the inside of the post, but not enough. Trickled back in off the line, bounced straight out to Gakpo.
And that's been Liverpool's problem. Every time it's bounced, it's not bounced anywhere near their players.
So as things stand, Liverpool and Aston Villa locked on 60 points, 5 behind Manchester United in 3rd, 5 ahead of Bournemouth in 6th. Remember, if Aston Villa finish 5th and win the Europa League, 6th place in the Premier League will get Champions League football. So this is a good result for Andoni Iraola as things stand and his Bournemouth side. But Villa have latched onto a slip here. Watkins strikes and Villa leads. Ollie Watkins finds the back of the net at last, and this time won't be denied by the flag. But Liverpool only have themselves to blame. An almighty mishap at the back, picked up by Rodgers, got his head up, found Ollie Watkins, and Watkins said thank you very much, swept past Mamardashvili. Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 1.
Well, again, see, Liverpool don't make mistakes. This is not something they'd ordinarily do. But again, I think it's Slobosai who's in the left back position and just slips over. Simple as that, just slips over. I think it's Morgan Rodgers, squares it. He drops off to get the ball to the left back position and just slips over. Can't do anything about it. The pass from Rodgers isn't great. He's still got a bit to do, Ollie Watkins, and just scuffs it. You feel for Slobosai, there's nothing he could do about that.
He was trying desperately to get back to his feet, but Rodgers was too quick for him, and if you're going to make a mistake like that, you don't want someone like Morgan Rodgers on your shoulder. Ollie Watkins then not getting the cleanest of connections, but he does enough, and that's all that's required.
Does enough to put it in the corner, through the defender, Konate's legs, who's sliding in, and 10 times out of 10 he couldn't do that again, get it through Konate's legs like that, I tell you.
And Watkins is in behind once more here. Watkins one-on-one with Mamardashvili, who came out, made himself big, denied the England centre forward, and in fact Watkins got the final touch. It will be a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, again, straight from the kickoff, they give the ball away, Liverpool, and they're in. It's a really good pass from Buendia. His first touch isn't great. That's what costs him. His first touch is a little bit loose, and he gets a smash on the nose for good measure, as well as Mamardashvili makes a really good save to keep Liverpool in the game.
It was just a hand on the back there from Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
Not enough for a foul, but it did put Ollie Watkins off.
Yeah, it did. But Liverpool now have, again, they give it away. They've got to tighten up, Liverpool.
And Watkins is racing in behind once again. Konate has to get there, does get there, inside his own penalty area, and he's rather fortunate to get himself a free kick. Konate then springs to his feet and tries to start an argument with Ollie Watkins, who walks away. Watkins has to be careful on a booking.
Well, for me, that's not a foul at all. That's two players fighting for the ball. Let them duke it out. It's not a foul at all. Too often that is given as a foul. And I'm sorry, there's two. I mean, he's big and strong, Konate, and he slipped over, by the way. No one pushed him over, and this falling over is a nonsense. It's just a nonsense. It really, like I say, the modern day defender looks for fouls, doesn't defend, because if he just gets his arm up and puts it in Rosehead, he's done.
Well, having seen the replay, there is no contact at all from Ollie Watkins, which is why he was so furious. His reaction to Chris Kavanagh, not happy whatsoever. But Liverpool really have got away with one, because had Watkins' first touch been better, they would have found themselves 3-1 down, conceding twice in 60 seconds. Yeah, and then they've, like I said, there's been this looseness about them throughout the game, where they just, too many mistakes they've made, basic mistakes that if you want to be successful, you can't make. So having been granted a reprieve, can Liverpool claw themselves back level once more? We've passed the hour mark. Villa 2, Liverpool 1. They were level for just 5 minutes. Van Dijk's header at the far post, and then Ollie Watkins sweeping Aston Villa back in front. Here is McAllister. Szoboszlai still trying to get away from Pau Torres. Torres leaves a leg dangling and sweeps the ball away at the crucial time. Barkley can come forwards now, finds John McGinn, scored those 2 fabulous goals in the Europa League semi-final against Aston Villa. Works it across to Youri Tielemans. Now Pau Torres, back to Emi Martinez. Still Szoboszlai is pushing and pressing and trying to cause all sorts of problems out of possession. Long it comes this time from Martinez, and it will reach Ollie Watkins, who is up against Konate. Just gets his first touch wrong, out of play for a Liverpool throw.
Again, those balls, because Liverpool have pressed right on, so it's great that what he's doing is he's leaving Watkins and Konate 1v1. And if he gets the ball in the right areas, Watkins, he will cause problems for Konate. And with Villa being 2-1 up, as the game goes on, Liverpool will push forward a little bit more. Sorry, Villa being 2-1 up, they'll push forward more and more, and you'll see there'll be a lot more long balls into the channel from Villa. 1v1 Konate against Watkins.
If the reaction was restless at Anfield last week, we dread to think what it would have been like this week had this been taking place in front of the Kop, because some of the passing has been so careless. Here's Buendia, he's clipped by Gomez, and Gomez will be booked. Challenge perhaps born of frustration, and the referee straight to his pocket. It's a booking now.
I mean, Szoboszlai had his shirt pulled, without a doubt, but having your shirt pulled shouldn't let your legs collapse, to be honest. and again, like I say, players look for fouls. That's a poor tackle. That's frustration more than anything else. Things aren't going your way, but you know you're going to get your shirt pulled every now and again. But the modern day footballer looks for fouls rather than getting on with the game, and you're not always going to get them.
So Gomez has a caution to his name now, and Villa have this free kick which they take short just inside the Liverpool half. Youri Tielemans all the way back to Pau Torres, who is looking to win another Europa League under Unai Emery, was part of the Villarreal side that beat Manchester United in Gdansk. Emery looking for yet another triumph after winning it with Sevilla and Villarreal. John McGinn has plenty of pressure around him, but uses his body to protect the ball and retains possession for Aston Villa. Here is Emi Martinez by his own penalty spot. Has Tielemans just ahead of him, but he's being watched closely by McAllister, and so Martinez instead elects to knock it long. And Watkins is sent tumbling by Konate. No foul, says the referee, Chris Kavanagh. Villa pick up on the loose ball through Barkley. Barkley can't keep it in play, and the referee is saying, just wait a moment here. He will communicate with the VAR. It was a long ball forwards towards Watkins, who was then wrestled to the ground by Konate.
He's got his arms round him, you see. That's going to make the ref have to make. He's got his arms round him, and that's the problem. I mean, he's lost his balance, Watkins. But again, like I said, is that long ball, that 1v1, and Konate for me doesn't defend them well. Again, the modern day defender is more about grappling than actually defending properly. So he makes the referee have to make a decision.
It's cleared by the VAR. It's one of those where I think if there had been a covering defender, it likely would have been a free kick, but it was either a free kick and a straight red or nothing, and the referee decided against it. Here's Szoboszlai racing into the penalty area, tries to pull it back across goal. It is knocked behind by Pau Torres, and Liverpool have a set piece now which Szoboszlai will whip in from the right hand side.
And you can see Liverpool's quality going forward. You can see it there. 1 and 2 touch play gets Szoboszlai in. They've got great quality, but there is just a looseness to their play at the moment. That mindset isn't quite where it should be.
Van Dijk has made his way forward. He's scored 1 this evening already. Szoboszlai prepares to whip it in, does whip it in. It's met by a head of Cody Gakpo, in fact. We've got a glancing touch on it right in front of goal and deflected it well wide, and now Villa can counter through Buendia. Buendia sent tumbling by Gravenberch, wants to take it quickly, does take it quickly, and suddenly it's 2-on-2. Morgan Rogers racing through, has Watkins ahead of him, slides it through for Ollie Watkins, stopped by Mamardashvili. Watkins collects the loose ball, back to McGinn. McGinn urged to strike, tries to slip it through for Morgan Rogers. Liverpool once again have given it away inside their own penalty area. Here's Matty Cash, now Barkley. Puts his foot on the ball. Liverpool back in numbers now, but Villa have plenty forwards. Barkley back to Ezri Konsa. Tielemans. Now Torres. Everybody in Villa colours is inside the Liverpool half. Good pressing from McAllister, but Tielemans shrugs him off, and Tielemans drives forwards. finds Ross Barkley. Can't be long before Arne Slot turns to his bench. Salah and Wirtz are waiting. Kerkez in the meantime defends well, gets there ahead of John McGinn, and McGinn in his frustration kicks out at Milos Kerkez, and he's about to be shown a yellow card, and
yes, I mean that's a spite. There's a spitefulness to McGinn, because basically what he's done is I can't get the ball, so I'm just going to leave one on him, and that's basically all he's done. He's not getting the ball. He's not even gone for the ball there. He's gone to kick the player, and he should get what he deserves, because he's not gone for the ball. He can't even see the ball.
And there's a yellow card for McGinn.
Spiteful play.
One of the players who scored in that famous 7-2 win Villa had against Liverpool all those years ago.
I remember doing that game.
It was quite a shocking result.
On that game. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen, and it could have been 15-all. There was just so many. I mean, Liverpool all over the place, but Gravenberch has gone off. Okay, and Gomez.
So on comes Federico Chiesa and Florian Wirtz on for Joe Gomez and Ryan Gravenberch. We suspect that Curtis Jones will slot back into right back.
It's an interesting one because you see it's quite a physical game, and they've brought on two somewhat lightweight players, you know, and not particularly defensive minded either.
Chiesa's first involvement is a positive one. He's shifted the ball away from Luca Dean. He's been brought down and won a free kick about 30 yards from goal on the right hand side.
It's a foul. I mean, I don't know what Digna, like I said, the modern day player moans as well. It's a foul. You have to hold your hand up. He's nutmegged you. Lovely bit of play. You've obstructed him. Move on. It is a foul.
So Van Dijk and Kanate are forwards. Szoboszlai, as he has been all evening, is in charge from the dead ball on the right-hand touchline. Plenty in Liverpool white waiting to attack this at the far post. Villa keeping their high line. Push out now, everybody out. Out comes Emi Martinez, spills it, collects at the second time of asking, and Emi Martinez looks to launch the counter forwards to Ollie Watkins. Fabulous ball. Watkins has Rodgers up with him, but Watkins' ball to Rodgers is so poor. Had he played it with just a touch more, then Rodgers would have been one-on-one with Mamardashvili. It's won back here by Buendia, but Buendia is dispossessed and Liverpool can counter. That was very nearly a certain goal had Ollie Watkins found the pass. Now in the meantime played in behind towards Gakpo, but Martinez is quick off his line and the flag is up for offside.
What a shame. He'd done the hard stuff. He'd plucked the ball, he did the very hard stuff. He's plucked the ball from over his shoulder, brought it down beautifully. He's done the hard stuff. This is a really difficult skill to master. Beautifully. This is the easy stuff. This is the stuff you do every day. Oh, it must be so angry at himself, because that's 3-1.
He's as frustrated as anyone, Ollie Watkins. Scored a hat-trick in that 7-2 victory.
Could have had
Safe
3
to
today.
say he could have had 3, Villa could have had 5.
Yeah,
had they been more clinical.
There's something not right with Liverpool. There's something not right, Will, with Liverpool. They're just, like I said, there's a soft centre in them where they just give you a chance at the moment. Today, they've given away chances. They really have.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it, aren't there? On the one hand, tonight, if it had been 5-1 Villa, it wouldn't have been an unfair reflection of the game. And I'm thinking again at Old Trafford, in the first half, could have been 4-5-0 down. But the flip side is they get themselves back in. Here is Luca Dean, though, in behind, chased by Chiesa. Chiesa got back well and prevents Luca Dean having an effort on goal or pulling it back. It will be a Villa corner.
Well, and that's the problem you have. Curtis Jones has been sucked into midfield, and Chiesa is not a defender. And they've worked it beautifully. Now he's got to get his head up, Digne. The ball just dies a little bit on him, and you know, so the cross isn't quite right. But again, Liverpool defensively, especially down the right-hand side, they're right all over the place. All over the place.
The only positive for Liverpool and Arne Slot at the moment is that they are only a single goal behind, very much still in this one. But have a corner kick to defend as Matty Cash whips it into the near post. Nodded only half clear, collected by Jones on the edge of his own penalty area. He's dispossessed and John McGinn can knock it all the way back safely to Emi Martinez, who will thump it back towards the Liverpool goal. That's a fabulous ball. He's picked out Matty Cash in plenty of space on the left-hand side. Now Emi Buendia on the overlap. Buendia can strike off the underside of the crossbar, and Morgan Rodgers tries to turn it home, beaten to it by Van Dijk, behind for a corner kick. Very nearly a glorious third.
Again, Buendia, look out on Liverpool's right-hand side, again, right-back position. There's two players. In fact, it's 3v1 Kerkez, 4v1. Where are the Liverpool players? He cuts inside Buendia. It's only then that any Liverpool players come to him. It's defensively, they're just all over the place. It's a great strike. It just didn't die enough for it to nestle in that far corner. So there's another chance.
It is a matter of inches at the moment, preventing this from becoming quite embarrassing for Liverpool.
I think he hit the bar on the post, by the way. It's just, this is a worrying, you know, again, what Arne Slot would have liked is 2 strong performances to convince everyone that he's their guy.
Well, we spoke prior to kickoff about giving the Liverpool fans a glimmer of hope. This will make things a lot more worrying.
Well, I think some will go, if they don't go away and nick a draw or something, get something out of this game, the fans will go away and look at the game on the whole and think, well, 2-1 at the moment flatters them.
In the meantime, Alexis McAllister has been pushing and shoving with Ezri Konsa, and McAllister has gone down holding his face in the box.
Embarrassing.
And Ezri Konsa really had a handful of his shirt, but there was nothing really in it.
Nah, it's embarrassing, I've got to say, it's embarrassing.
So McAllister is still down holding his face. The referee has had to stop the game. And Arne Slot is telling McAllister to get to his feet.
Get up, there's nothing wrong with you.
So even his own manager is urging him to stop the messing around. The Liverpool players are still arguing their case to the referee, Chris Kavanagh. And Arne Slot is chatting with the 4th official, Andy Madley. But I would be very surprised if VAR got involved for that one. McAllister still down. He was speaking with Mo Salah quite intently a moment ago, Arne Slot, and I wonder if Alexis McAllister is just paving the way for that substitution to be made. McAllister is now back to his feet. Konsa has been called across to have a chat with the referee.
Well, Konsa puts himself in trouble when he grabs him. What he does is he grabs him and he pushes his hand to his face. So maybe he does catch him in his face, but you just don't. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. Like I said, penalty box behaviour needs to be looked at. Needs to be looked at.
That's the thing. If you encourage all the pushing and shoving, it's likely to escalate, and it has done here. In the meantime, the recriminations are still ongoing. Alexis McAllister has plenty to say, and he's saying all of it to Konsa and to Rodgers, and Konsa still is being pushed and shoved by Alexis McAllister. He's giving his own back to, and now this corner kick will be taken by John McGinn. McGinn whips it in, and down goes Ezri Konsa. No foul, says the referee. Tielemans strikes, pushed out by Mamardashvili, and it's turned home by Ollie Watkins. Watkins has his second, Villa have their third, and finally Aston Villa get just reward for their total domination since the restart. They have deserved the third goal, and they finally have it. Villa Park is bouncing with the Europa League final just around the corner. Talk about momentum.
Well, for me, Liverpool are all over the place defensively. They don't seem to be able to mark anyone, and I think, you know, people have lost their heads. Definite penalty there on Ezri Konsa, by the way. He's been rugby tackled to the ground. It's a definite penalty, but they're just not marking. And Mamardashvili makes 2 great saves. That's 2 chances for Liverpool defenders to be there. No Liverpool defender. There's 2 Villa attackers by the goalkeeper. Where are all the defenders? I guess they're hoping it's offside.
Well, the VAR is having a long look at this, but if they are to look at the offside, they would have to look at the penalty shout too.
No, he's not offside. He's no. Look at where Chiesa is. Chiesa's again. Chiesa is holding everyone on side. The whole of the defence has pushed up. Chiesa didn't get the memo, so he's stuck back here next to the goalkeeper, and he's just held everyone on side. Mamardashvili makes 2 great saves, but Chiesa's holding everyone on side because again, he's an attacker.
Yep, Mamardashvili not only heroically saves from Tielemans' volley, he then somehow keeps out the rebound from Pau Torres, but you predicted it when he came on. Chiesa's not a defensively minded player, and he's played everybody on side, and Watkins is able to tuck home, so the goal will stand. The
goal should stand, and again, like I said, it's a penalty otherwise. I mean, again, the modern day player just doesn't defend. They don't defend anymore. You know, they're so busy grappling with players. It's like a bit like basketball. They don't defend, and they need to defend properly.
And Arne Slot turns away in disgust. He was the one telling Alexis McAllister to get to his feet so that Liverpool get some rhythm back in the game. And instead, that lengthy delay before the corner has come back to cost them. Ollie Watkins has 2. That takes him to 19 for the campaign. He was already Aston Villa's highest ever Premier League scorer against Liverpool coming into this one. This makes it 8 goals against Liverpool now, 7 in 6 games at Villa Park.
Yeah, he must love playing against Liverpool. And It looks like Salah's come on.
So Cody Gakpo, in the aftermath of that goal, has been withdrawn, and Mo Salah has come on for the final 15 minutes. It is a positive to see him back playing before that final day at Anfield.
But I'm not quite sure what he's playing in at the moment, because this Liverpool team lack a lot, and what they lack more than anything else is physicality. They lack the physicality, because Villa are a physical side as well, and they haven't been able to compete physically, Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool fans will be concerned watching this. I think Freiburg fans might be a little bit concerned too, if they are tuning in, because Aston Villa look in absolutely fine form before that Europa League final in Istanbul. Ezri Konsa manages to hold on to possession under severe pressure from Chiesa. The atmosphere around Villa Park absolutely bouncing, and the only shame is that Villa's final game is away from home rather than here after the Europa League final. If they do win it, they'll have to wait till next season to have a chance to parade it around this famous old ground. Unai Emery is right at the edge of his technical area as Emi Buendia is sent tumbling, and he is applauding his players' efforts each and every time.
Yes, I mean, it's good play. Villa work their way out of there. Like I said, there's a looseness to Liverpool. They're not at the pitch of things. They're coming in too late. They're not anticipating anything. And do you know what? Their teams are reflective of their manager. And this Liverpool team looks unsure. They just don't look together. You know, they look out of sync. Physically, they don't look right. And now, you know, 3-1 at the moment flatters them.
There are questions as to whether Chelsea's move for Xabi Alonso might just force a few hands in the Liverpool boardroom. Arne Slot says, as of now, he's been given every indication that he's staying.
Well, I mean, the next two performances will dictate that, I think.
Here comes Mo Salah, first touch of the ball for him on the edge of the penalty area, knocks it back to Curtis Jones. His move to right back hasn't worked out for Liverpool, but he has rampaged forwards here, and he's cut it back into the 6-yard box, met by Pau Torres, who heads it clear. Here's Ollie Watkins on a hat-trick now, but back doing his defensive duty. He's given it straight to Florian Wirtz, who can enter the penalty area, but Wirtz delays, and Tielemans is across, concedes the corner.
Yeah, good defending from Tielemans. Ollie Watkins, again, you can see what he's tried to do, but it hasn't quite worked. But they defended it really well, Villa. Now they need to start getting things from these Liverpool. They need something to spark them into action, because there was a 10-minute spell there where they were all over the place.
Corner kick from the right-hand side. Mo Salah will take, left-footed, in swinging. Salah delivers in towards the near post, headed up but not away. Met on the edge of the penalty area by Wirtz, but he's beaten to it by Watkins. In fact, Wirtz just got back in the nick of time.
Just got a nick on it, yeah.
Watkins tumbling, but Wirtz, to his credit, for a touch of the ball. Here is Mo Salah on the right-hand side. In towards Szoboszlai, twisting and turning, back out to Mo Salah, tries to slot it through the legs of Luca Dean. Now Florian Wirtz, quick feet on the edge of the penalty area. Salah delivers dangerously, but out comes Emi Martinez to pluck it out of the sky. And it remains, with 12 minutes to go, Aston Villa 3,
Yeah, he's
Liverpool
comfortable, 1. Martinez, isn't he? It's comfortable. It's not really been a problem. And like I said, you know, Liverpool I mean, they've had 11 attempts at goal, but only 3 on target, which gives you an idea of just how little pressure Martinez has been under.
Here is Salah once more, playing his 441st game for Liverpool tonight. 257 goals. What a player he's been at Anfield. His long goodbye is coming to an end. He's given it away though, and Barkley can bring it forwards for Villa. Falls to the feet of Yuri Tielemans, just inside his own half. He's chased all the way by Wirtz, who is back hassling and does well to force the error. Here's Engamoa. Engamoa spins away from Tielemans, plenty of pace, dancing through. Rio Engamoa still going, and in the end he was tackled by Dominic Szoboszlai on the edge of the box.
It's weird, because he never really had the ball under control once he cut inside. It was just a little bit out of his reach, and you could see slight runaway train there element to him. Needed to just get his head up and have a look. Sometimes get your head up, have a look.
Here comes Konate, and now Curtis Jones. Just over 10 minutes left, and if Liverpool are to snatch an unlikely point from this one, they need to find a goal back, and soon. Salah, can he be the source of inspiration, as he so often has been over the years? His first touch is loose though, and Watkins steps in. Now Buendia wriggles away from Salah, knocks it back calmly to Luca Dean. Here is Torres inside his own penalty area. This is the 212th game that Pau Torres has played under Unai Emery for Villarreal and Aston Villa, the most of any player, and he sparked a counter-attack here as Ross Barkley rampages through the middle. Barkley has Morgan Rogers to his right-hand side. Rogers is made to work for it, and he just about keeps it in play. Rogers whips it in towards Watkins, not it out, only as far as McGinn. Watkins waiting again. Canate is there at the far post to clear. Villa still pressing forwards here through Luca Dean. How much Ollie Watkins would love to reach 20 goals for the season with a hat-trick against Liverpool. Buendia tries to pick him out, and he's left for dead by Curtis Jones, and Liverpool can move it forwards now on the counter. And here is Szoboszlai, but his first touch is so heavy, and Konsa just calmly across to steal the ball away and give it to John McGinn.
Game's too open, and it doesn't suit Liverpool because they don't seem to have a handle on running back towards their goal with any urgency whatsoever. Villa are streaming forward at times and outnumbering the Liverpool players. This is a very, very disjointed Liverpool performance, and like I say, if you're a board member or if you're a Liverpool fan watching this would worry you a little bit. This would worry you.
3-1. It could have been more. Here is Szoboszlai. But Liverpool have often found a way to keep themselves in games and to somehow conjure something up. Here is Florian Wirtz, who was brought in to do just that. Spins away from Buendia, knocks it back to Curtis Jones. Jones is down, referee waves play on. Salah exchanges passes with Wirtz, but getting back there was Luca Dean, sliding across, corner kick.
Good defending from Digne. And about time we saw a little bit from Liverpool, a little bit more. I'm looking at Arne Slot, and he's got that sort of dead look in his face, which is there's not more I can do. There's very little more he can do. Looking at the bench, there's nothing on there.
No.
All the cards are on.
Academy players.
Yeah, all the cards are on the table now.
So will it be set piece salvation as Salah whips it into the near post, flicked on dangerously and thumped away just in the nick of time by Ezri Konsa. Here comes Milos Kerkez. Another loose pass, but it's collected by Engamoa. Engamoa driving towards goal, curled in towards Van Dijk, who is free. Chiesa at the far post. Out came Martinez to save. Corner kick given. Flag somehow stayed down.
How is he onside as Van Dijk? Now he's I can see you can see Buendia's held everyone onside, so it's a chance. It's a chance, and Ezri Konsa just gets a nick on the ball that doesn't enable Chiesa to stick it in the net.
More grappling around this corner kick as Canate and Luca Dean try to fight for space in the 6-yard box. Referee keeping an eye on things, but it's taken short. Villa caught cold. Florian Wirtz strikes straight at the feet of Matty Cash, who thunders it clear.
Well, it's a game of a lot of opportunities, isn't it? There's been a lot of opportunities here for teams to score. It's not a great shot, I have to say. But that's the difference, see? Shot on the edge of the box, Villa are out to block it. Look where the ball went. That didn't happen with Liverpool.
Virgil van Dijk was having his shirt pulled by Emi Martinez when that corner kick was taken.
That is a foul, by the way. That is because if that's the other way, that's a foul on the goalkeeper.
But he's lucky that the ball was played short and not into the penalty area, because otherwise that would likely have been VAR intervention and a penalty for Liverpool. In the meantime, Aston Villa are making a change, and Ian Maatsen is about to come on in place of Emi Buendia, who receives a standing ovation from the Villa fans. He scored 10 goals this season, and he will hope to have done enough to secure his spot in the starting 11 in Istanbul in that Europa League final.
I'm sure he'd like to hope so.
Maatsen is another fighting for his place after being left out today.
Buendia's been brilliant. He's been sharp, he's been incisive, he's been involved in everything.
And we talked about Liverpool perhaps resembling their manager, uncertain, cautious. Same can be said for Aston Villa with Unai Emery.
There's a physicality about Villa that I think Liverpool haven't been able to deal with. Villa at their best, they're snarling and snapping. They've got quality, but they roll their sleeves up and do the ugly work. They compete really well. Liverpool, for me, haven't competed well today. 16th
when he arrived, Aston Villa. Unai Emery took over with the club 1 point clear of the relegation zone. He's now qualified for Europe 4 straight seasons. It is a remarkable job.
I think, and the thing about it is also They've been under financial constraints. He's not bought many players, and these are other managers' players he's improved. If you think about how many players he's actually bought in, it's very few, and he's improved other people's players. Morgan Rogers from nowhere, England squad.
Yuri Tielemans free transfer, Victor Lindelof free transfer.
Exactly right.
Here comes John McGinn on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Fabulous quick feet to get away from one and then two. There is a beach ball on the field as it's played through in towards Matty Cash. Liverpool don't have the best historic relationship with beach balls when they're tossed onto the field, but luckily that one stayed out of the way.
They should be banned from football stadiums.
Arne Slot not happy as Morgan Rogers concedes a free kick. Liverpool will have a chance to ease the pressure. He is Unai Emery, the 14th different Villa manager to try to win a major trophy since that 1996 League Cup win under Brian Little, and he has come the closest. Villa have lost their last 4 finals, beaten by Chelsea in the FA Cup 2000, by Manchester United, League Cup 2010, by Arsenal in the FA Cup 2015, and Man City 2020 in the League Cup.
I was at the Arsenal one, 4-0. It was, that's one you want to forget.
Freiburg away, sitting 7th in the Bundesliga.
Just on that alone, it's a stronger league. They should be the favourites, Villa.
Yeah, there will be great expectations from the Villa fans who travel out there still buoyant after this result, if they can hold on, because Mo Salah brings it forwards, finds Chiesa in the penalty area, forced backwards as far as Alexis McAllister. Now Chiesa once more grappling to try to hold off the attentions of Tielemans, does it well, and now sweeps it across into the box, looking for Curtis Jones. Only half cleared, then thumped away by Luca Dean as far as Szoboszlai. Now Virgil van Dijk halfway inside the Aston Villa half, met by Florian Wirtz, who is doing his best to make an impact since coming on. Out wide to the right where Salah waits, dinked in towards Alexis McAllister, too close to Emi Martinez, who collects. And with 3 minutes of normal time remaining, it is Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 1.
It's comfortable, isn't it? Liverpool, they're sitting back and saying, come on, beat us, Villa are, and it's just not happening. Liverpool just not being good enough.
Here comes Matty Cash into Morgan Rogers, who's done his chances of an England start at the World Cup no harm tonight. In fact, he's chasing him behind here for Milos Kerkez, who knocks it back to Mamardashvili, hastily clears into the path of Florian Wirtz, does well to cushion it, bring it down for Federico Chiesa, but Chiesa's pass is straight to John McGinn, and McGinn is wonderfully away from Szoboszlai and then Wirtz. What a player he can be on his day. Scotland fans will be salivating at the idea of him lining up to take on Brazil in the World Cup this summer. In the meantime, has a trophy to win in claret and blue. Ian Matson tries to get away from Curtis Jones in midfield, does well to retain possession. Tielemans prods it out wide where Luca Dean has a bit of space. Ollie Watkins sets off in behind, then checks back Watkins, and it's found the feet of Ollie Watkins. Out wide now for McGinn, urged to shoot, does shoot! Oh, it's sensational! John McGinn provides the finishing touch to a stellar Aston Villa performance. They have ripped Liverpool apart. Unai Emery's men preparing for the biggest night of their lives in perfect fashion. Villa Park bouncing, Aston Villa 4, Liverpool 1. And truly deserved, well deserved. That's a little bit better. The scoreline now really does highlight what the game was about, if the truth be told. So he's been decent tonight. McGinn, like I say, he embodies everything that you get from Villa. There's a bit of nastiness, but it's competitive edge. He keeps going, he works hard, does the ugly stuff well. Comes to him and you kind of know what he's going to do. But Kerkez, there is no defensive, there's nothing there at all. He's not saying to him, I'm going to block you, from shooting. He's not blocked him at all. There's no resistance whatsoever. He's been allowed to pick his spot. And that's just not defence. Standing in front of him is not just defending. I keep saying it, and I'll say it again. The modern day defender does not defend properly. Does not know how to defend properly. And there it is in a nutshell. He's left-footed, and he's very much left-footed. He can strike a ball well with his left foot. What do you want to block? And he has just scored 2 goals from that exact position. Exactly right. In a Europa League semi-final. And you'll know that in the match analysis. So, and he's not blocked off the line, he's nothing. And what would worry me from Arne Slot's point of view is the first 2 goals for Aston Villa. Virgil van Dijk was going crazy, shouting at the defenders. When that goal went in from John McGinn, he just dropped his head and walked back to the centre circle.
It's what you call resignation. It's resignation, because you realise, I think he's gone off now, McGinn.
He has indeed.
It's resignation, because you realise, there's nothing we can do. Absolutely nothing I can do about this, or we can do about this as a team. It's gone. And the only thing they can do now is keep the score down, in my opinion.
So John McGinn gets his standing ovation, not just for a fabulous strike into the top corner, but he has been withdrawn and he will now be wrapped in cotton wool and put away before that Europa League final. And on in his place has come Douglas Luiz, and Aston Villa have an opportunity to revel in this scoreline for 8 minutes more. We are into stoppage time, 8 of them.
With respect, Will, Chiesa's playing right back. He's not a defender at all, and he's been at fault because he's just not a defender, yet he's playing right back.
Now here comes Ngamoa to try to add some sheen to the scoreline for Liverpool. His cross is blocked by Concert. Half-hearted appeals for handball waved away.
It's good play. I mean, he's been the only really ray of light for them, Ngamoa. He's tried and he's tried and he's tried, and he's been decent. He's been a thorn in their side, but he's been let down by the rest of his teammates who just haven't been at it, to be truthfully honest. They've been all over the place, Liverpool.
Here comes the corner. Jadon Sancho has also been brought on for Aston Villa in place of Yuri Tielemans. In towards Van Dijk, who gets his head to the ball and scores Liverpool's second. Well, with 6.5 minutes of stoppage time to play, Virgil van Dijk is doing his best to bring Liverpool back into the game all by himself. His second, Liverpool's second, and it's 4-2.
Yeah, again, don't bother marking him. He's not being marked. And if you allow him time and space, which you have done, Pau Torres, I don't know what he's doing. He can see Van Dijk in front of him. He can see the ball. He can see the trajectory. Done nothing. Poor defending. Poor defending.
So Virgil van Dijk scores his 7th and 8th goals of the campaign this evening. And Arne Slot's men at least make the scoreline look a little less embarrassing than this second half performance.
Yeah, see, I think that will paper over huge cracks. Huge cracks. This has really highlighted for everyone where Liverpool are at.
Aston Villa still in total control, and they are pouring forwards once again. Chance here for Barkley. Has Watkins ahead of him, central position. Barkley instead determined to strike. The former Everton man wanted to get one over his former rivals, but had better options.
He did. He's played. He's played for himself. He could have put Ollie Watkins in there, but it was good play. Really good play, if the truth be told.
Well, captain John McGinn, we've just seen a picture of him embracing Unai Emery. Those two are totally in sync. McGinn has hit 10 for the campaign now. First time he's reached double figures as a Villa player. What a performer he is. What an inspiration for his teammates too. Here is Jadon Sancho in a rather tight spot to get away from Wirtz. Does get away from Wirtz. Now Rodgers looking to tee up Barkley on the edge of the box. Rescued by Douglas Luiz. Picked up by Sancho. Wriggling away from one challenge, then two. Finds Ollie Watkins. Still on a hat-trick is Watkins. Waits for support to arrive. Watkins forced all the way backwards here. But he has the wherewithal to get away. First from Milos Kerkez and then from Szoboszlai. Barkley driving forwards. Still Ross Barkley. He's sent tumbling by Virgil van Dijk. And it will be a free kick about 30 yards out for Aston Villa.
He's fuming, Van Dijk, because again he's ran past and twisted around 2 or 3 players, Ross Barkley, who have just done nothing, offered no resistance, and I think that's what he's angry at. Far too easy. Just a real tepid aspect to Liverpool's play. Really passive. Just no energy, doesn't seem to, and again, you need that spitefulness, you need a little bit of competitive edge, and you're not seeing it from Liverpool today.
Well, 4 minutes of the 8 additional minutes have been played. Arne Slot watches on with a face like thunder. His side have been well and truly beaten this evening. Have scored 2 courtesy of Van Dijk headers. That will worry Aston Villa, both from set pieces, but otherwise Villa have been in control. Yeah,
it would worry Liverpool as well. That Liverpool work on carving teams open, and they haven't done that. 2 crosses have got them their goals, and that apart, in this second half, Villa could have scored 4 or 5 goals.
Well, this free kick is about 30 yards out on the right-hand side of the D. Standing over at the left foot of Luca Dean, on the right foot of Douglas Luiz. 5 men in the wall for Liverpool, as well as the draft excluder. It's struck by Dean and it's deflected a long way behind for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? He's normally a decent taker of free kicks, but he's hit the wall this time, and it's a corner. It's another chance. I mean, for Villa, it's another chance to score, because you realise defensively Liverpool are just there's something wrong. Today there's something wrong. The lack of communication, the lack of real attention to detail, and just concentration. There just isn't any from Liverpool at the moment.
Well, Watkins was urging the centre-backs to get forwards for this corner.
There's goals in this.
So it will be taken and whipped in here by Douglas Luiz. It's only half cleared. It falls, in fact, for Morgan Rogers at the far post. Has to go all the way backwards to Cash, and Liverpool can push out in numbers. Cash knocks it back to Emi Martinez, who will thump it forwards for Rogers to chase. Won't quite get there. Mamardashvili can collect. Well, Liverpool are unbeaten in 10 games against Aston Villa. That has come juddering to a halt this evening. Villa had lost 35 Premier League games to Liverpool. Only Manchester United have beaten them more often in the Premier League era. But this time they have deserved the 3 points that are going to take them into the Champions League. They can focus now on Wednesday just on silverware. Nothing to do with their Champions League aspirations. Just want to lift the Europa League trophy. Here comes Curtis Jones, pulls it back for Szoboszlai, edge of the penalty area, tries to dance his way around Pau Torres. Torres gets a foot to the ball and concedes the corner, and we have 90 seconds remaining.
Well, again, here's another corner and another set piece, another cross in the box. Are Villa going to be able to defend properly, or are Liverpool going to flatter themselves again? Because there's no way they deserve 2 goals today. They've been abject. They really have been. And again, these Liverpool fans will have things to think about on the way home.
Szoboszlai's ball in is nodded up into the air and caught by Emi Martinez. It will be 6 defeats in their last 7 away games now for Liverpool in all competitions. It is a dreadful run for Arne Slot's side, and they find themselves just 4 points clear of Bournemouth in 6th. Bournemouth, of course, have 2 games to play, although one of them is against Manchester City. Brighton on 53.6 behind Liverpool with 2 to play, and so it would take an almighty turnaround for them to eclipse Liverpool. They will likely still get Champions League football, but it's limping to the finish line like this that does their confidence no good at all. Well,
I mean, they've not performed today. They've not performed. They've been terrible today. They've been dreadful. They really have been. And I think was it Brentford at home is the last one. Brentford, a decent side. They're a decent side, and they'll make it difficult for Liverpool. And Liverpool are not in good form. And I go as far as to say some of these players may be playing for their futures. I really do, because they have just, there's players who just haven't performed.
Expect a turbulent summer at Anfield as we tick into added time on top of the 8 additional minutes. All eyes on the referee, Chris Kavanagh. Aston Villa have done their job, and there goes the full-time whistle. Aston Villa will be playing Champions League football next season, and Unai Emery's side head to Istanbul to contest the Europa League final against Freiburg with their confidence at an all-time high. It finishes at Villa Park. The excellent Aston Villa 4 and abject Liverpool 2, and this is how you heard it on Premier League Live.
Liverpool will, to be honest, you'd have scored from there.
On the right-hand side of the penalty area, Szoboszlai towards the far post. Van Dijk! It is a typical Virgil van Dijk goal. A thundering header at the far post. Beats Emi Martinez. And just like the Villa goal in the first half, it was all just a bit too easy.
Well, if I'm Emery, I'm fuming, because they haven't earned that, Liverpool.
Villa have latched onto a slip here. Watkins strikes, and Villa leads. Ollie Watkins finds the back of the net at last, and this time won't be denied by the flag. But Liverpool only have themselves to blame. An almighty mishap at the back. Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 1. This corner kick will be taken by John McGinn. McGinn
It's a
whips
foul.
it in and down
That is
goes
a
Esri
penalty.
Konsa.
That is
No
a
foul,
penalty.
says the referee. Tielemans strikes, pushed out by Mamardashvili, and it's turned
there you
home
go.
by Ollie Watkins. Watkins has his second, Villa have their third.
Liverpool are all over the place defensively. They don't seem to be able to mark anyone.
Ollie Watkins out wide now for McGinn. Urged to shoot, does shoot.
Oh, what a
It's
goal.
sensational. John
What a goal.
McGinn provides the finishing touch to a stellar Aston Villa performance. Villa Park bouncing, Aston Villa 4, Liverpool 1.
The scoreline now really does highlight what the game was about, if the truth be told.
Here comes the corner in towards Van Dijk, who gets his head to the ball and scores Liverpool's second. Virgil van Dijk is doing his best to bring Liverpool back into the game all by himself.
That will paper over huge cracks, huge cracks.
What a performance from Unai Emery's Aston Villa, and up on the big screens at Villa Park, the Champions League logo and the slogan Champions League awaits for me. These Villa fans will be touring Europe once more next season, but at the very top table. And Paul Mortimer, they deserved it, didn't they? 4-2, and the scoreline frankly flattered the visitors.
It did. I mean, this is a Champions League shootout, isn't it, for both sides? And there was only one team that deserved that. Liverpool, as good as Villa were, is as poor as Liverpool were, if the truth be told. Individually and collectively, they looked like 11 people that had met in a car park before the game and said, you fancy a kickabout. That's what it felt like. They just out of sync. They didn't move as a unit. They didn't shut people down. There was gaps all over the place for Villa to exploit, and boy did Villa exploit them. I mean, they scored 4 goals. Really, 6 would have been, I think, par. If to be honest, 6 would have been fair, because they missed some good chances. Mamardashvili made some decent saves. So a lot of thinking to do for Slot and Liverpool, and a lot of thinking to do for Villa as to, can we just replicate this, the hunger and the desire from today on Wednesday night.
Last major trophy 1996, last European trophy, that famous European Cup triumph 1982. It is not an overstatement to say it would be historic to win on Wednesday, and it's just about the perfect performance to go there.
Definitely. I mean, your tails are up after this performance. Everything, you conceded 2 poor goals, but you take that on Wednesday night if you score 4. So everything augurs well for them for Wednesday.
And Unai Emery, just finally, what a job he has done.
How is he not in the Manager of the Year running? That's going to be my gripe. I can't work it out. He's improved other people's players. That's the telling of a top manager, when you improve other people's players, and he's done that.
Well, what a night at Villa Park. Aston Villa absolutely flying. More tough questions for Arne Slot and for Liverpool, but Villa head to Istanbul to take on Freiburg in the Europa League final, brimming with confidence. They have slaughtered Liverpool tonight, secured their place in the Champions League, victorious by 4 goals to 2, and you heard it all on Premier League Live.